Hey everybody, how's it going? I want to talk to you about women that are wrong and that stand by and support pedos, men who abuse women, their fathers who abuse their own grandchildren. The list goes on. These are the type of people that would sacrifice their child for the candy bar. And I'll give you an example of someone who is not a girl's girl. Years ago, I was engaged. This person and I broke up. He went on to marry someone else. They had 3 kids. My oldest daughter that's her biological father. So that's her, she has step siblings and all that fun stuff. And I guess they get along great. And so when I was in the military, I was sexually assaulted by my ex's best friend. I didn't talk about it. It took about 10 years. And when we finally reconnected through the military and such, I talked with her and I said, "Do you remember this guy?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "Yeah, he served time in prison because he assaulted a woman." And I don't remember if she said the woman was pregnant or not, but it was pretty vile. And I said, "Oh, he assaulted me too." And she said, "Oh." And that was all she said. And I thought there's something wrong with her, because then she went on to admit she had had an emotional affair with him because the affair happened while he was serving time in prison. And I thought there's something wrong with her, but just something off. And then finally I reported. It took another 10 plus years for me to finally file a report and let the courts know and try to bring him to justice. But unfortunately, Washington State has a 20-year statute of limitations, and I filed after that. But I said I had told this woman that he had assaulted me too. And I said, "This is her name and number. You can give her a call." So they did. They called to confirm my accusation and what had happened. And I guess she talked to him, and the next thing I know, I'm getting a message on Facebook. And she said, "I know he hurt you a long time ago, but forgiveness goes a long way." And I was like, where the... And so I thought that is just the craziest thing a woman could say to another woman, knowing she had suffered at the hands of said individual. But not only that, I'm going to dive deeper into it, because throughout the time, her and I, after my daughter met her biological father and we all became this extended family per se, her and I would chit chat. And she admitted her daughter had been molested by her father, not my daughter's biological father, but her grandfather per se, this woman's dad. I don't even know if he served time or not. But then she said to me, "Yeah, he gave me money to get my teeth fixed, and because I guess he owes me for what he did to my daughter." If that doesn't want to make you throw up, I don't know what does. But I'll tell you, some women are vile and hateful and absolutely disturbed. So to all those people out there that are dealing with these type of women, you better get the F away from them. Any woman who sits behind a man who has put his hands on another person in an unkind manner, she's just as guilty as him. She's an accomplice. Why? Because my assailant showed up in court. Who was sitting behind him? His wife. And I'm sure they're still married today, but how can you, as a woman, choose to be married to a man that has not been accused of one assault but two, in which one of them he served 9 years in prison for. Oh my goodness. These women are just as sick as these men, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. So anyways, that's all I've got. Stay away from those type of women and never leave them alone with your kids. That's all I've got. I will be back.